These so-called pranks that we have been seeing at the WNBA games signify a lot of things that are happening online and offline. Let's talk about it.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What's going on, you all? I want to have a conversation about these pranks that have been happening at the WNBA games. And also I want to tie it into what B Simone experienced at Target the other day by these young men who were streaming and how they were using her as content and asking her about has she fallen off. All of these things are connected to one thing, and that's sexism, misogyny, all the things. And young men are using it as content. They are using it to appeal to other men. And we're seeing a rise in that. And it is happening across the board. So for those who do not know, during some of the last WNBA games, someone has been throwing these objects out on the court. And sadly, one of these objects hit a child. And the person who did it was found and he was charged. Now, he hit a child. And I don't know what that looks like because he's like a teenager. I don't know what the charges will be giving. The reasons he said he did it is because he was trying to pull off a prank that he had saw online. The pranks and stuff we're seeing and how women are being treated online is encouraging men to do these things to women to get attention. Now, we can get into conversations about how this has always been men doing things like that in front of their homeboys to get attention from them, to get accolades and claps and whatever from other men. I mean, Drake is a perfect example of that. Drake and other rappers love rapping about the disrespect they do to women for other men's consumption. It's really, really weird to me because these are men who are heterosexual, who are interested in women, but they want the appeal of disrespecting women to other men. And I do not want folks to take that as, oh, you're saying Drake is homosexual or whatever, because that's not true. Men very well can like women and also hate them. There's terms and definitions for that. Men can be attracted to women, but do not like them. It happens. It happens a lot. And we have to remove this calling them gay or queer or whatever in response to that. Because there are a lot of men who are very violent towards women who are heterosexual. They are not queer. They are not any of these things. They enjoy women, but they do not see women as the same as them. They do not see them as human. They see them as objects. And going back to what is happening at this WNBA game, this is a part of grape culture, if I'm being honest. To scare women, to make them feel some type of way in this very professional environment. These women on the field, on the court, are professionals that are working. They're already dealing with the misogyny in the industry that they are in. And they also have to now deal with the younger fans who are trying to get attention off of this. These are women who are receiving way less money compared to their male counterparts, who also have had to fight tooth and nail over the last couple of years for the longest to get the attention that they're gaining now. And men, young men and older men, are now upset about it. And they're lashing out in their own ways. You have male, older anchors getting on platforms and whatever, talking about these women in a very specific way. And then you also have young men, teenagers or early 20s, doing pranks. And what is the joke? What are we pranking? What are we doing? Like, it's not just like throwing something in the middle of the court to laugh. It is a very specific thing. Like, I don't like where we're going. I do not like where we're headed. And I think, honestly, and I'm glad you gone. And I think, honestly, we've been seeing a consistent rise of it the last couple of years, thanks to people like Kevin Samuels and other red pill adjacent content creators who have been feeding young teenagers very disgusting things. Online is the best way to be recruited. It's a way for you to build community with people who are like-minded like yourself. And it can have some pros. You can join groups that like knitting or like hiking or going on runs. And you can also join groups that hate women. Like, this is not the Little Rascals anymore. Like, this is the grown version of that, where we have men acting like the characters in the Little Rascals. But there's no good ending. There is no couple being at the end. It's people being harmed in the process. And then you have this being done online where it takes nothing for someone else to up the ante because they want more shock out of it. The desire to want to be famous for doing this style content, wanting to be like these other streamers. They are being encouraged by even someone like a Kai Cenat, who, for the most part, has not been very respectful to women using his platform. Like, we're seeing that. All these things are connected. Going to B Simone, who is walking in Target and having to deal with men live streaming her and following her around Target to ask her, did you really fall off? Harassing this woman in Target. And I feel for her. B Simone does not deserve that. You can see the fear in her eyes. You can see the unrest. You can feel it. And I don't think it was a prank that B Simone knew about. I don't think she is in on it. If she is, I will be deeply disappointed, but I don't think so. But to follow her around, to post it to other men, and they find enjoyment of this black woman being harassed, it's very sad. And also how black women have been treated, because yes, these things affect all women, but the way it affects black women is on another level. Like, because there's more enjoyment in it, because they don't see black women as worthy of anything other than this. If we're being honest, like, you are here for me and my enjoyment. Essentially, you have black women who are in the WNBA being disrespected by other male black athletes who have aged out. You have folks like Shaquille O'Neal commenting on Megan Thee Stallion being in a relationship. You also have people like Slim Thug who consistently talks about Megan Thee Stallion. You are men who are older, but we know most of you all, if not all of you all, are just like homeboy. And I'm not even talking about Shannon Sharp. I'm talking about Trick Daddy, who got on Nene Leakes podcast talking about his desire for women who are no older than 35. Like, his stopping age is 35 because anything after that are broken. Who has a history of talking about black women consistently in this way. His comments about black women losing visibility or not getting men's interest anymore because Mexican women or Latinas are learning how to fry chicken. Like, what is going on? A whole liability talking about women being broken. Are you serious right now? And we see all of this content, and there are men consuming it, young, old, whatever. They are consuming it, and they feel like this is necessary. We've seen an uptick of it. The surrounding fandom of people like Tory Lanez, defending Tory Lanez to the point that Megan's boyfriend is having to deal with men harassing him for dating Megan Thee Stallion. Like, in the streets. And it's not even on Clay. It's, I'm using you to get towards this woman. And they're all using it for social capital online. And I think we really need to sit down and talk about this, because this is not jokes. This is not pranks. This is not throwing tissue on the trees outside the high school. This is not Halloween tricks. This is clear sexism, misogyny, and we have to call it out. We have to be very loud and vocal about it and what it is. because that is what's happening. We're watching women, and black women specifically, be disrespected for currency online. And let me say this. I don't have to be a fan of B Simone to know that she deserves to be able to walk into a Target and not being harassed by men with a camera. And also, women have been talking about what it feels like going to get gas, stopping at a store and walking past a group of men and having to give their phone numbers out to a man just because they do not want to reject them and then lose their life in the process. Like, we have to be honest and say, this is what's happening. All of these things are connected. They're finding new ways to do it. We're seeing videos of men disrespecting women. I mean, it's always been happening, but we're seeing a lot of it on TikTok. It's honestly really sad to see how men are reacting, like how men are talking to women, how they're manipulative. It's really sad to see. And these men don't see any issues on it, even if their friends do try to tell them that they are wrong. They can go and find community online. They are being recruited. They're being recruited to have this war on women. For what? And then we want to talk about the single epidemic, the lonely epidemic that's happening with men. And we're seeing how they're treating women online and also offline. Y'all already did not have the best track record. And now we're seeing how y'all responding, how some men think it's funny that these things have been thrown out on the court where women are performing and working while at your professional job is harassment. And it's not funny. I don't care if you are 19, 17, 16 years old. These kids are learning this from somewhere. And if we don't have a conversation with our young adult children, we need to be having a conversation with our young boys because it's getting out of hand. They're being recruited to continue on stuff like this. And as we talk about all this surveillance that we're starting to see online with age verification for content, YouTube is about to apparently put out new policies to verify ages. Actually, on my birthday, August the 13th. And with all these companies doing this, it's not really, to me, about the children. It's not about protecting the kids, essentially, because they could be wiping this content out. They could be suppressing this type of content, but they don't want to lose revenue around it. But they know that it's a possibility of them losing revenue if they don't do something about it. Which means us as adults who have children, even if we do not have kids that are directly ours, we need to be having conversations with our young kids about these things. And even the young girls, to tell them that these things are unacceptable and explain to them what is going on. That it's not okay for boys to be throwing, men to be throwing these objects on a court full of women, basketball players. That it's not okay to be harassing a black woman in Target, no matter how funny you think it is, because what is the joke? What is the joke? And streaming it live. As much as the internet has gave us, some of the things I wish that we never received, if we're being honest. I'm just thinking about all these things. You all tell me your thoughts around it. I was disgusted watching that video of B Simone. I'm not going to hold you. Just seeing how she was reacting and how she saw it. It was just really sad to see. And we got to talk about that. We got to really find out why these men are doing this. We already know, but we have to explain and be very vocal about why these things are happening, especially given the political climate that we are in right now. Tell me your thoughts. Let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.